Now, let's go back and talk about my experience of going into the dealership. So I'd emailed, I'd gone back and forth, I'd made an appointment. I show up at the dealership, and you walk in the showroom, and then all of a sudden you get that feeling of like, what a really attractive girl in the summer, scantily dressed, might feel walking by a construction site.
Like that piece of Kobayashi beef.
Yeah, like you instantly get that feeling, right? Yep. So then you say the name of the salesperson that you're there for, and then they get that salesperson. That salesperson comes out, and then you sit down, and then they don't have the models there that they have on the website.
They've got a whole pile of cars with not the one you want.
Well, it's just interesting that on the website, they say they have them, but they're not. So if you wanted a specific color combination and you went there, those aren't available. Those don't exist.
Yeah.
So even though there's a VIN number, in fact, one of the ones that I was looking at, the color, because the nation of autos is so organized, they don't put actual pictures of the vehicles up. They're stock images.
Photos, yep.
So the stock image of the vehicle might be silver, but the description says that it's white or whatever. And so literally, if you go and look a day later, the same car that you've saved the link for will have a different color and different options.
Impressive.
No, it's maddening. Why is that impressive? Because like, if you're like me, like I have a specific color, like I wanted a specific thing, and I thought I was going there to see the specific thing. No, those don't exist. And they literally, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose I don't know. I don't understand how you load up a car with a VIN number, say you have it, and you don't know the color. There's no pictures of it. Like, it is a disaster.
Yeah.
Like, it's false advertising in a sense, right?
Maybe the nation of autos is too big for it.
So then you're like, well, can I just drive one? It doesn't matter what color it is, whatever. So you drive one, right? And during the test drive, I tell the sales guy, I go, hey, you guys got some, you have some pretty bad reviews. And he goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
Oh, yeah. Our service department sucks.
Great.
Basically, I mean, in so many words, like, yeah. Good. He said, we have, the demand exceeds our ability or something in an attempt to be politically correct.
Makes me want to buy a car.
And then, I was like, well, how much do these break? And he goes, well, some do, some don't. He said, I had one and I never had any issue, but I have clients and, it's kind of like if you get a bad one, kind of a thing, that was the conversation. So we do the demo route, which is interesting. We get back to the dealership, then you trying to pull it back into this postage stamp, like to park, to do, like, it's just funny, right? Like you can't even get in, and because there's so many cars on this lot, and it just looks like chaos. Like, and I imagine this is what it feels like for people pulling into service drive sometimes. Yeah. Like it just looks like chaos, and like nobody knows what they're doing, and it's just nuts. But that feeling is for the customer is like you just want to get out of there. You naturally want to get away from chaos and disorganization, right?
Yeah.
And so you park, you come back from the demo, and then still, like, I'm still concerned that the color combination that I want, and so now I'm looking at other color combinations, because I've realized that this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Right. So now I'm going to have to figure out very quickly what are the colors and what would be okay. So then they have one on the showroom floor that is close to what I thought, but different, but cool. Like it had elements of it that were blacked out. It had black wheels. It was cool, and I could see myself doing a vinyl wrap on that one. So I told the salesperson, I go, I want that one. So I said, here's the deal. I am going to write you a check for the vehicle. I understand that you're going to have to wait for the check to clear. So when it clears, I'll come pick it up. And, I'm thinking, this is how stupid and naive I am. I'm thinking I'm going to be the easiest customer you've ever had because I'm going to write you a check. When it clears, let me know. I'll send somebody to pick it up. We're done. I'll sign, right?
Yeah.
Ends up, Christian, that's not how it goes.
Weird.
Yeah. So then he says, okay, well, do me a favor. Let's come sit at my desk. And I'm like, oh no. So then he goes away and he goes to the sales office.
To the tower.
And then what do you think happens when he comes back from the tower?
Well, I know because I got trained the
Because I've
same
already
way,
yelled
and
about
you
this.
already yelled about it. You got exposed to the four square.
So it's still the same sort of thing, right? He comes out with the Nation of Autos version of a digital Foursquare, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's hilarious to me that nothing has changed since I bought my first new car when I was like 20.
Yep.
So I bought a Nissan Pathfinder when I was a service advisor because I could put my drums in it and keep them out of the rain in Seattle. I remember my lease payment, I think, was like $299 or something.
Yeah, you can get this for a good,
I put
good
like
deal back then.
$1,000 down. I saved my money, and I bought a brand new Nissan Pathfinder when I was 20. So that is 30. Jesus, I'm old.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
It's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed in 30 years in the Nation of Autos.
Not a thing.
Nothing except for the red Sharpie on the Foursquare.
Right.
It's a digital.
They just took Foursquare and put it into an iPad.
So then the kid standing up. So I'm sitting. She's next to me, standing up. Says, so not even sitting down, which is an interesting power exchange thing, right? Like I'm sitting there standing, and he says, the chip issue and the market and this and that. Meanwhile, I see financial statements every week. Maybe I see like, I don't know, half a dozen financial statements every week from clients across the US and Canada. We got 4 dealerships that wouldn't have made $500,000 in a year, making $500,000 a month right now because of their new car grosses.
Yeah.
So even though maybe I don't know what this chip thing is, because there are, like, I drove by a Honda dealership yesterday. They had no cars. So I know that there is an inventory issue, but that was not the issue here. There were more cars than could fit on the lot. Like they could use to sell a few cars so they had room to park other cars, but whatever. So he says to me, the market correction, the chip thing, the whatever, we're adding, this is how he words it, we're adding a parts credit to making it sound like I'm going to pay, and it's $15,000 on top of the price of the car that then is a parts credit. Now, I didn't get too far into understanding what the F that means, what a parts credit is, but I'm thinking, how could I possibly buy $15,000 worth of parts for this thing? Like, I had looked, even the dog package they have for the back, which is a ramp for your dog in like a cage.
It's $3,000
you can get
probably.
A Land Rover, whatever. Is it like you couldn't? How would you possibly? But I don't think they mean that you're going to spend 15. Maybe they're going to give you 2,000 or so. I don't know. Whatever it is. So there's a market adjustment on the car. Now, I understand market adjustments. When I ran a dealership on the hot new models, we would have market adjustments. I get it. I get it. So, but I'm not going to pay it. Like, I'm just not. So that's okay. So I said, hey, that's cool. Like, you guys are doing that. I was under the impression that you weren't, because the prices were on the website, or I would not have wasted your time. That's what I said, because I'm not paying them the market adjustment. But it's their right to do it. If they want to do it, it's fine. Now I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to bug Christian to help me get one of these. Like, from one of our clients. So he goes, well, hold on 1 second. Now, what do you think he does?
You got the turn.
I got the turn. So then we're sitting there or whatever. And by the way, one little thing about dealerships is maybe I'm super picky. Am I super picky?
You have your moments, for sure.
The coffee thing.
Oh.
It blows me away the things that people decide to save money on that make such a big impression.
They didn't have coffee there?
They had coffee, but
Hot?
they didn't have lids or the like when you don't have the cover, people are gonna double cup.
Yeah.
So you think you're saving money,
Costing more.
but when the whole thing ended, I had a cup of coffee with no lid, which was super weird to save money on lids. The coffee was okay. Just interesting what they decide to cut.
Yeah. I will tell you, I was in one of our client stores last week, and it was literally like a self-serve Starbucks. Cups, lids, sleeves, beautifully fresh coffee. I loved it. And not a Land Rover dealership.
You were a sales manager.
Well, I sold cars, but we didn't really have sales managers.
Oh, I was going to ask you what you did when you turned.
So we didn't turn. It was our thing from the start to the finish.
Well, there are still dealerships that do that. So what the turn means, you guys, is that now the manager's coming out. So now the manager comes out, and very, very interesting. Now the manager sits down in the salesperson's seat, which is an interesting dynamic psychologically, because the salesperson was standing. Mm-hmm. Now he sits down. So he comes out, sits down, and the salesperson isn't right there yet. He's dragging, right?
Yep.
That is kind of a technique, I'm assuming, to drag. This isn't something I've ever done in a dealership that I would run. I wouldn't do it that particular way. So the manager now sits in the salesperson's seat at his desk and says, "How can I help you?"
Wow.
That's his petting the dog line. That's how he builds rapport. How can I help you? So I try to bring a little levity to the moment, and I said, "Well, we're here for couples advice. We need help. We can't get along."
Did he laugh? Because I think that's
He did not laugh.
That's funny.
Did not laugh.
Come on.
No, did not laugh. And so then it's just like a stare down. It was the most awkward, weird thing ever. And so then I just brought it up because I just wanted to get out of there at that point. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing business with these people. And so I said, "Hey, I'm not paying a market adjustment. We'll see what we can do. What if we do 12? I said, "Listen, I understand you have the right to do a market adjustment. If you can sell every one of these at 15,000 over, you do your thing. Like no harm, no foul, whatever." So I think then he comes back and he says he can do 10. I'm like, "No, I'm not doing it." I leave. I'm not even on the freeway yet, and the salesperson calls me and says, "Well, I talked to my general sales manager, and he said, just for you, blah blah blah, we can do 8." I'm like, "Wow. Listen, kid, I forget the kid's name. I'm not doing 8. I'm not doing anything over. I'm just not." I go, "Maybe if it was 1,000, but no, I'm not." Like he's doing me a favor. It's so funny. Like they're doing me a favor. It's such a grind. So now I've spent, I don't know, I'm at this place a couple hours, right? I have nothing to show for it except for frustration. I hate them at that point. Like I literally hate them at that point. Like they've wasted my time. They don't have what they said they were going to have in stock. They don't. So they're bait and switching to begin with. Mm-hmm. They have no technique whatsoever, or just respect for. It's just still that thing, like that Henry Ford thing. Like you can have it in any color you want as long as it's black. Like they just don't care about your time or any of it. And I said at one point, no joke, I said, you guys should look me up because I'm going to talk about this. The general manager sent me a blank email like a week later, like a template. It had nothing to do with, I think it's a her if I'm reading the name right. Yeah, that name it's not Pat. It can't go both ways. And I replied to her and I said, I can't wait to talk about this on the show. Because I said, nothing has changed in 30 years. Like, it's just incredible to me. Incredible. Like, that's how it goes. And so then, I'm depressed. Like, I'm really depressed at that point. I don't know what to do. And so I go on the website for Tesla and I'm like, screw it, I'll just get a Y. I'll get the SUV.
Yep.
It's not what I want, but it's so much easier than dealing with all this. Thanks so much for watching this clip of Service Drive Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.